Now, this passage is slightly tricky, so I thought I'll explain this also. So, in the first paragraph, the author is putting forth a contention that people we've been told that mediums are neutral and content is king. It then gives on example of for TV and let's say books and other Twitter and all. So basically, he's saying it is content that is important and medium which is not important. This is not author's opinion. Author says we've been told, right? So now I would expect what does the author believe, whether medium is important or content is important. So in the next paragraph, he says, okay, there is some truth to this, but there is less truth to it than to the opposite. So basically, our author believes that medium is more important than content. Then he elaborates this by giving example of someone. McLuhan's view is that mediums matter more than the content. It's the common rules that govern all creation and consumption across a medium that change people and society. So he's saying medium has the capability of changing people and society. And he says a medium will have certain rules. So let's say if the medium is television, it will have certain rules. If it is YouTube, it will have certain rules. If it is some other media, let's say social media, it will have its rules, but it has a potential of changing people and society. And then he's giving us example. Oral culture teaches us to think one way, written culture another. Television has turned everything into entertainment. So basically, medium has the potential of changing people and society, and therefore more important than the content. Then he says he further elaborates this by giving example of, let's say, different news channels, which is one medium. He says their ideology is different, but there is a sameness. They have certain rules, right? It says the common rules that govern all creation and consumption across a medium. So he gives example of a cable news that it has sameness, the same look of the anchors, gloss of the graphics, the aesthetics of urgency, right? So everything is there, sameness, and therefore it has a grammar and logic to the medium. And if you look at this, if you follow this medium, your thought process would be shaped because it changed people and society. So medium is important. Finally, he says this gentleman's arguments were continued by Postman. Postman was more of a moralist than McLuhan, likelier to lemon society's direction than to coolly chart it. But he was seeing the maturation of trend that McLuhan can only sense. He only sensed it, but Postman went further ahead. McLuhan said they had the capacity, they had the capability. And Postman said that they have the potential of changing the society also to a greater extent, because don't just look at the way things are being expressed, look at how the way things are expressed determines what is actually expressible. So Postman is saying that the medium can actually decide what all to show, what all content is to be shown. This is what it says. In other words, the medium blocks certain messages. So finally, our author believes that medium is more important than content. Which of the following, if true, would most weaken the author's argument? The author's argument is medium is important than content. If you look at option A, it says people were not able to differentiate the medium, right? So let's say they wrongly identified the source of the majority of the clips. So if it was news channel, they're saying, oh, I saw it on YouTube. So basically for them, it means medium is not important because they are not able to identify the medium correctly. So if medium was important, and if, as what the author has said, it has sameness, it has a logic, it has a grammar, then if you're showing me a clip from a television medium, I should not be able to confuse it with something else. So this weakens the argument, and therefore the answer is A.